Yeah.
Dustin
After that, there's always something.
I've got a running joke now. Dustin Oldfather, goes to Delaware and Maryland. I started in 2005 and then started coaching in 2011. I was going through our numbers. I realized that from 2011 until 2016, our first 5 years of coaching, we 10x our business. Which is a pretty amazing thing.
So give us a sense for your production then. You said you 10x it, you've been coaching 5 years, and you've 10 times.
We went from 10 million in production to over 100 million in production. And growing our team obviously from the individual that was started it, which was me, to about 40 of us that are working together. So 25 agents and about 15 really dynamic key personnel and some adjunct members.
So you signed up 5 years ago, you're 10 million. How was there a team at that point? How was it structured?
Actually, we weren't attempting the team model before it was really fashionable, and we were struggling. And so, we had our market tanked, in 2008, 2009, so we were searching for a new way to generate business. And so we weren't from the area we were working in, and so we embraced the online consumer really early. So many mistakes, as far as speed to lead, the timing that we get, how much time we allowed to lapse between communications, really for follow-up. Things that we all know intuitively now, you have to respond really quickly. At the time we didn't, but it gave us some insights in testing the ISA model, understanding how to close the gap in the consumer experience online, and that's been driving our business ever since.
So in a nutshell, for the past 5 years, you've been building a mega team at this point in time. It's pretty good size now, over 100 million in volume, which is super impressive. Didn't start there, but you've been really growing and aggressive in some of the new trends like ISAs and things of that effect. Cool, awesome. All right, thank you, Dustin. Ken, tell us all about you. Hi, Ken.
I know Snapchat.
Okay, it's not going to go down. Okay, fine. You can harass me.
Yeah, my name is Kim Barber, and I live here locally. I mostly was more in the Fairfax County area, but moved my business to Loudoun County. So I made a decision when we did that a couple years ago to more hyper-local my business and make it less spread out, if you will. I joined coaching in 2012. I was started the business and then collapsed as well. Got into REO. Decided to get out of that. It took me a couple years to get out of it. I had about 85 properties in my inventory when I made that decision. Then I had to decide what I wanted to do. So built a lot of the foundational systems and processes and decisions. And then about 2 years ago, turned on the marketing. Have seen, I'm doubling the amount of business I'm doing in the areas that we're focusing on now, hyper-localing it in Loudoun County and more western Fairfax County.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your production like in 2017? Just so we can get a picture of your business from a production standpoint. And hold the mic real close for us if you could.
Sorry. Yeah, we did 55 closed transactions. We took about 100,000 in pending forward, so that's not counted in there. And one of my big goals was to go over 500,000, and I started adding team members. So I think we were at 23 million last year. As I sit here today, and I had some pretty significant things that I was dealing with personally with my health. So I'm excited about the future, but we're at 26 million in signed clients for 2018.
Nice. And then, real quick for the audience, they're going to get to know you. I've known you for a few years now because I interviewed Ken at a panel a while ago. You guys will share this. What's your background, Ken?
My background before, I've been in real estate for 14 years now. Prior to that, I consider myself an entrepreneur. So I had my first business when I was 18. Then I went into technology when I was 20 years old. And please don't do the math on that. And I spent 15 years building software and technology companies and network foundational technologies that run the internet today.
So when we talk about your strengths as a marketer, like building a business based upon what you know, would it be fair to say, and you're going to find this out about Ken, you understand technology, you understand marketing, like you're very systems-oriented in your thinking process?
Yeah, one of my degrees is in decision science. So I
Say that again, I missed it.
One of the degrees is in decision science and management information systems. So it's how businesses make decisions and then how to use technology to implement the systems and the processes and what decisions you need to make them successful.
And that level of being tactical in your marketing is certainly, it shows in what you're doing production-wise in your business today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Next.
Hi everyone, my name is Mike Renick. I'm from I just met them a lot. I'm home base on Longboat Key, Florida, which is right outside of Sarasota. It's the famous path where Irma came through just a few months ago. I started in real estate in 2011. We're doing just the opposite. We're a 3-person team. Eric is sitting over there with the camera, but we have Joanne back in the office, and we want to see what we can do just with this model. We were independent for 7 years, and we had a chance to merge. We merged with Keller Williams. What else is Keller Williams? Yeah! So we're now Keller Williams, and what we want to do is prove what the 3-person team can do. We put ourselves on the map through technology. We were really good with online leads, and we continue. One of the things that I think is important is realize what works today may not work tomorrow. So a couple of years ago, we started getting into social media. I didn't even know what Facebook was. Today we have 67, almost 68,000 followers. So we've grown that. We've moved from the Zillow to Realtor.com, which really have very good lead generation sources, and we diversified into, we're almost completely social media. We did $23 million worth of revenue last year. We're probably at 12, 13, 14 right now this year. Looking for another strong year.
So what's your GCI like this year to date?
We're probably around $350,000.
Already this year?
Already this year in the bank.
Okay, love it. Mike, what's your background?
I also have an IT background. I retired from General Motors. I had 31 years in. I retired in 2009. So if an IT guy can do this, anyone can do this. An IT guy, think about this, is the guy who slides something under the door in an assignment and he slides it back out when he's done. So if we can figure this out, anybody want to hear the secret, what it is?
Yes.
Secret.
Don't tell him, Mike, please.
Yes.
Oh, okay, tell.
It's actually coaching, and I'm not getting paid to say that. When we got involved in the Tom Ferry organization 6-7 years ago, it made all the difference. See, is anyone confused with everything you saw today? Because I am. Are you guys confused a little bit in terms of how to implement Snapchat? I got to go back to Snapchat first. Facebook, all that kind of stuff, LinkedIn. See, a coach will help you with that. And they'll take it in small, I call it per chunking. That's a technical term I made up. But they'll help you take this in bits and pieces. So that's the one advice I give everybody, because it made a difference. These numbers, allergies are acting up a little bit. These numbers wouldn't have been possible without direction you get from the coach. And the coach saying, step back. Now, I have the best coach at Tom Ferry. Anybody have an idea of that?
Yes.
Okay.
You're the man, Mark.
Your face is red. That told me never get the microphone back, so I now have the microphone.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Awesome stuff. So we got a snapshot of who each of you are. So we've got the large team, $100 million plus. We've got the 3-person team, probably the middle-sized team. Everybody here's growing a team. None of you really started at the team, but you all kind of grew into the team in terms of building systems. There's a saying we use, like, when the business necessitates it. Like, you start growing as it becomes necessary. So what I want to do is walk through, like, in your business today and over time as you've been kind of growing through the phases of the business. What is the #1 lead source? Maybe 1 or 2 where you say, most of my business comes from here and or here.
You want me to start?
Yeah, you get the mic, go ahead.
Today, it's pretty much Facebook. So no matter where you get your leads, and Jason said it earlier, getting leads is relatively easy to do. It's how you manage them. I use the 3 different categories that Jason uses. I name them differently. It's top of the funnel, middle funnel, bottom of the funnel. That's the IT background, really simplistic. And each kind of lead has different needs. And we use email marketing, we use Facebook, we use messenger ads, and we reach out over time. So we may be working with someone that's been in the database for 2 years before we even talk to them the first time. And they'll call up and they'll say, hey Mike, I'm going to be in town next week. Is there a chance you can show us properties? And I'm looking up in the CRM. I've got their whole history of everything we sent out. I've seen the emails they've opened up. We know what they're looking for. We've got the searches all going. And so the answer is yeah. So we engage. And that happens day in and day out because we've been doing it for over a couple of years. So those top of the leads back 2 years ago are now down into the funnel. They're ready to buy. And it pays off.
So I want to jump in on that, can I real quick? So we have remember the awareness mode leads? They're 18 to 24 months out, roughly. They're roughly a year out, sorry, 2 years out. And so Mike's living proof of this. He ran the ads, picked up the leads like 2 years ago. He's been nurturing them over, steady, sure. And then over time, they naturally convert, right? And so the benefit, I'm using you as a teaching case study right now, but the benefit of what he does is there's no hard sell. Like, you tell me all the time, oh, somebody that I don't know called me or emailed me saying, hey, we're coming to town next week. When can we go look at houses? As if they have a relationship with you because you've got such sophisticated follow-up and nurturing going on through emails and videos and things like that, that over time, they're naturally moving through the different layers of the funnel, awareness, to interest, to decision mode. And when they get to decision mode, you're their guy.
And we hit them up, multiple ways. Today, there's between 17 and 18,000 in my database. I upload that file every month into Facebook. I market to those folks. I market to new folks. I market to those folks. And when someone starts getting closer and reaching out to us, our ISA, Joanne, who's a fully licensed agent, she spends time on the phone nurturing that relationship till they get here. And the way we reward Joanne, a lot of people will say your ISA's got to make 8 calls an hour and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe in that. When Joanne spends 45 minutes on the phone with one lead, one potential client who's in the bottom of the funnel, that's something we reward for, we don't penalize. Because that's her job, is to bring over the finish line, and then, turn it over to Eric or myself to show the properties when they're in town.
Wow. Nice. All right, let's jump to Kim or Dustin. Kim, you want to go next? What's your top 1 or 2 lead sources, just in a nutshell?
So the sphere of influence, past clients, COI is number 1. And over the last couple of years, we've built out our plan and kind of keep adding on. So interesting, last year we were at about 19. We're already at 18 this year today. So we're exponentially improving that. And the internet in general. So I started out to kind of tailor some of the remarks that they made. When I started adding team members and to go into these timelines, Zillow, I know is here. The facts are Zillow is the most expensive lead, yet they are faster, as well as Google AdWords. So I started out with Google, Facebook, and I call it internet general. So you have your realtor.com or whatever. So I lump them together. So those 2 are my number 1. We started out with Zillow, added Facebook, because a good friend of ours that's with coaching, Cliff Stevenson, and we also track the same kind of statistic that it's about 400 plus days before they convert. So I'm seeing that as well. So my Facebook this year, my internet is already spiked up, also doubling each year. So those 2 are going to continue to be our highest point, and then expires our 3rd. But as the listing inventory goes down, obviously that goes down. So you measure the ROI and track the future.
Cool. And Dustin, top lead source, 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, I would say we've gone through a shift. In 2011, we really started with pay-per-click, which is Google search, and then listing alerts. And that really drove our business up until very recently. And actually now we've shifted to more portal conversion to be Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes. Homes is not on our list. It doesn't, we're equal, it's not great in our market. So this year we'll do roughly 120 transactions from those portals. And then our secondary, a third of our business comes from our repeat referral business and sphere of influence. And our strategy has been a combination of client events and then including them in all of our social media advertising. So you mentioned your audience, we take our whole database, moved into Facebook, and then they're included in our broader marketing on social.
Okay, good. It's a great picture. Thank you. Kim, what would you say is the secret behind your success? Enlighten me, please.
I would say that, one of the secrets is that, and one of the reasons that I did go to Tom Ferry was that I liked the idea that there was a variety, and I listened to what made me happy. I like working with the people that I know. I outlined what's my ideal customer, and I focused on that. So my ideal customer, the easiest to convert, are the people that I know, and then I focused on how can I afford to incrementally grow and where did I want to be. So I think if you kind of keep an eye on what's my short and my long term, which is what I did, and it sounds so fundamental and repetitive, okay, you got to get it, treasure and track and measure. Sorry, there's a few people in front of me right now. And I think that's been the secret, as well as, I really felt it was important because I got frustrated, and maybe it's part of my background, which to kind of tailor into that without going
No, you
on.
can, yeah, you got a great story.
One of the software companies that we helped build was the #1 integration software product company in the world. And I got very frustrated when you had leads coming in from Zillow or Bold Leads or Real Geeks or all these other sites that do or don't work. And they were dropping into different buckets, and when you start to develop a team, and you're handing out leads, and you've got post-it notes here, notes over here, open house sheets over here, it's very overwhelming, and the lost lead and the conversion becomes an issue. So I think one of the things was following what makes me happy, and then taking a step back, and how am I gonna make it all work? And then what's my plan? So I think when you combine all of that together, you really can create a path that's not overwhelming, that's measurable, that I can implement in a way that makes sense. And for me, that works, because all of it at once was very overwhelming. I got very frustrated. So I think that I am an operator, I'm systematic, but I think it makes sense. And it's proven to work.
Yeah, you're definitely making some money doing what you're doing for sure. And serving a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Dustin, explain your process or your strategy that is tied to your lead sources, how you guys do business, how you make money. Explain your process to everybody here as if we're 6-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. You're trying to
Hold the mic real close. We want to hear it.
You want to create a consumer opportunity. You want to pair them with a qualified agent who is experienced and matches their intent, that answers the questions and gives them the information they need, and then helps to guide them through that next step of the process through a high service sales process to get them to the right property, and that's on the sell side, and then take them through the contract to closing as smoothly as you possibly can. So we have a contract to closing department that does that. On the seller side, obviously you're trying to make that connection, elicit your USP, deliver the highest quality marketing services you can. So for us, we have a listing service team, a listing success team, and then our creative team, which actually handles the marketing, videography. Actually, you see in the front row. George is actually doing video documentary of the event. So it's a combination of doing really high quality across all of those channels, delivering it consistently, which speaks to process, and then helping that client to have as smooth a process as possible. Because it is very well aware people are extremely stressed during this whole process, especially if you think about the concept of selling in this market and buying in the next market. That's why a lot of people I do think are willing to take the discount and sell their home for cash from a discounter, because they just want to know what they're going to have on the other side. So it's our jobs to give them the best possible experience that we possibly can. We want to do that through a very, very linear process, at the same time prepare them and help them through the stressful periods with your experience.
All right, so to simplify what I'm hearing, so we know that your lead sources, you're purchasing a lot of leads, they're considered high intent, probably decision mode leads. Mm-hmm. You have a large team, so I'm assuming there's a lot of training that goes into how do I get my agents, my team equipped from a process standpoint, from a skills standpoint, to be able to get those leads, follow the process, and convert them. Am I somewhere close to right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, so what does the training look like for somebody on your team?
Yeah, and so obviously all of us in the room are at different levels and different developments in your team, and sometimes it's much better to be a more nuclear team, certainly profit-wise. But for
What
us,
do you mean by that, a nuclear team?
a tighter team, meaning 3 or 5, maybe 10 agents who all work together. It's a little more volatile with somebody.
Yeah, somebody leaves, you really feel it.
Exactly, but by the same token, you also don't have the same exposure from the salary that you carry, which is also its own challenge. It's it doesn't go away. And so, Jason, what was the question?
So the question was, I was clarifying, so the question was, as if I'm a 6-year-old, what's the way you guys do it? Like, if you're going to tell somebody, hey, come on. If you're going to tell somebody in the room, here's what I do.
So specifically to training, yes, we develop a process and a plan for a new agent that's coming to our team. For everyone in the audience, you also have to think about, we think about the consumers as the end user, but your key personnel, the people that work with you, are also having any experience, and your agents that come to work with you are also having experience. So it's our job as, specifically me as a leader and you as leaders in your company to be responsible for the experience that everybody in the organization is having. And so yes, we mapped out a very linear process where, okay, these are the 13 modules that we need to go through to train to get you where you need to be. We have very consistent training every day of the week. So everybody knows on Mondays at 12 o'clock we have water training, which could be productivity. It could be, right now we're doing the Chris Boss Never Split the Difference training. It could be individual Tom Ferry videos. And then we have our more core training. It's every Tuesday. So the times get set. It's every time. So then the agents know that what's expected of them. And then we have oversight and guidance through having we call him our Director of Agent Development, which kind of doubles as a sales manager, but it's really a coach within the organization to say, hey, this every week, who are your top prospects you're working with, where are your obstacles, helping them through that mentorship so that the agent always has somebody to call so they don't feel abandoned. And that's what happens sometimes when someone comes to an organization. They come in with all these promises and then they get estranged. It's probably no different for a lot of consumers, which is, oh, everything's going to be great, we're going to be on vacation, and then not every brand, obviously, this is a great group of people, but everyone in this room is beating out another agent because of kind of that lack of brand promise delivering.
Absolutely. Thank you, Justin. Mike.
Yes, sir.
If I were a 6-year-old, how would you tell me what you do with your Facebook marketing strategy? Walk me through the steps.
Let me step back just a little bit to explain
Okay,
something.
5
And then explain how we put it to Facebook. It's really laser sharp focus on the client. It's understanding what the client wants and providing that. So Facebook, see, not being a professional marketer, I didn't understand when I started real estate how to get leads. And then, so I asked myself, if I go where all the potential buyers and sellers are, isn't that the answer? And it really is. So you ask yourself, where are the potential buyers and sellers? Today, they're on Snapchat. I've never used Snapchat. I don't think I'm going to start it this week. But it really is Facebook. When you think about it, everybody's out on Facebook. So a person wouldn't go to Facebook to buy a home, but the people that are buying homes are on Facebook. So there's a certain language that you use. There's a certain way you reach out, and you let them keep seeing your ads. You don't, you're not trying to force them to hit it all the time. But I have a certain type of ad that goes to my top of the funnel every single week. Actually, I double what I'm supposed to. I do 2 ads a week for the top of the funnel. The middle of the funnel is completely different.
And so time out real quick. So top of the funnel means people who are kind of, they're not really far into the process.
My brand new leads, I'm reaching out to zip codes. Summertime I reach out to zip codes by me. In the wintertime I reach out across the nation because we're a second home market in the wintertime, being from Florida. So those are the new folks. I send them certain kinds of content. The middle of the funnel is more of a starting to build trust. Okay, here's who Team Renick is. Here's why we're different. Here are the things we can provide. And the bottom of the funnel, the kind of content we send out is to get them to convert. Here are the kind of things you're looking for and stuff like that. But Tom Ferry says at every conference he goes to, and I want to bring this home to each individual agent. He says the difference between a producer and a non-producer is very simple. There's things that folks don't like to do. The producer does them. The non-producer doesn't do them. And it's that simple. Last night at about 8:30, real quick story.
Yeah.
And I was tired. I was watching the news. I was laying on the bed in the hotel room, and my eyes were starting to close. I had gotten up at 3:30 yesterday morning. But I just felt guilty calling it a night, so I got up and I opened the laptop and I started doing email, and there was a client from Texas. This is Mike, I really want to buy this condo in Siesta Key. I thought, well, I really want to sell that condo. By 11 o'clock last night, I had a contract written on a $900,000 deal because I didn't go to sleep.